and language. Because of all this, it's sometimes hard to remember that we're all one human race, and we all need to work together to deal with some of the issues that could change the face of the whole planet. One of the problems is that there are just too many of us. We're getting better at treating illnesses and extending lives through medicine than ever before, but we're also having more children. There are 7.5 billion of us in the world right now. By 2021, that figure will exceed 8 billion. All of those people need food, water, shelter, and heating. We don't know for sure we have enough food or clean water to sustain all of those lives. Overpopulation could lead to a complete societal collapse in any one region of the world, or possibly all of it. The more people there are, the faster the resources are depleted and the harder it is for supply to meet demand. There's also the problem of rising sea levels. Regardless of whether or not you believe that climate change is caused by human activity, it's impossible to deny that climate change is happening. As glaciers melt, sea levels rise. At first, that will only be a problem for low-lying countries that aren't far above sea level, like the Netherlands. Then it will move on to towns and cities which sit on the coastline. 10% of the whole population of the world live in regions which are less than 30 feet above sea level, and all of them would be at risk. Cities like Miami, Rio de Janeiro, Shanghai, and Osaka would all be at risk within a century if sea levels continue to rise at the current rate of projection. Island nations would be washed away. Entire ecosystems would be irreversibly damaged, which would cause knock-on effects on the food chain that all human beings rely on for sustenance. Both of those problems are potentially lethal, and they're the sort of thing that we should definitely be more conscious of and doing more about. There may be a bigger danger facing the whole planet, though, and one which almost nobody is paying any attention to at all. And that's the risk of a cataclysmic shift in the orientation of the world's magnetic poles. It's hard to imagine how such a thing could occur, but factors like global warming and overpopulation could be a factor. Perhaps more likely, though, is the risk of an asteroid striking the Earth. Scientists believe that this is the most likely reason for the extinction of the dinosaurs, and we may be well overdue for such an event happening again. Working on the likelihood of a magnetic pole reversal has been a lifetime's work for Gordon Michael Scallion, a futurist and metaphysicist. His terrifying vision of the future is a planet that's been torn apart by floods. Scallion remains open-minded on the potential causes of magnetic pole shift, theorizing that nuclear activity, global warming, or the misuse of future could all potentially play a part, along with the possibility of an asteroid strike. He feels that it's precisely because there are so many potential causes that we should be taking the threat more seriously. As an example, if a volcanic chain reaction occurred under the Earth's crust and made Italy's Mount Etna and Martinique's Mount Pelée erupt at the same time, there would be a shift of the poles between 20 and 45 degrees. The resultant flood would overrun the west coast of America within 90 days. 20 to 45 degrees would be a disastrous shift, but a total reversal of the poles would be far, far worse. Our next question should be, how likely is it to happen? The NEOWISE mission at NASA keeps track of all potentially hazardous objects out in space, which could pose a risk, however small, of striking the Earth. The mission has so far uncovered 250 previously unknown objects. 4 of them are brand new comets. A worrying 72 of them are classified as near-Earth objects. Not all of them are large enough to cause such a catastrophic effect, but some of them are. Right now, NASA's own impact risk chart lists 2020 as having an increased risk of dangerous object activity. Any rock in space more than half a mile wide would pose a risk to the entire population of the Earth if it crashed into the planet's surface. There are 90 of them currently close to the Earth. None of them are currently believed to pose a threat, but even one of half that size would be enough to shift the magnetic poles.